I'll tell you what, I had to make some decisions in my life, and there's been some great days. I remember the days when my 2 sons were born. Great days, and a lot of fathers can also relate with this. A lot of mothers, wow, I'm actually a father. This is crazy. What am I going to do now? I got to get my act together. I can't play around anymore. I'm going to church, So these were some great days. I'll tell you what, there's some moments in our lives we can look at. The Bible calls them the Ebenezers of our lives. Look back and remember what the Lord has done for you and cherish these moments. And these were great times. Meditate on what God had done. I remember when I said I do to this beautiful lady, and every day I say I do, man. She's lovely. And I'm so sad that I couldn't bring her along. There's a lot happening at home, and I said, honey, I got to go. Next time I'll bring you with you. So I'll tell you what, this was a day I will always remember. And I never forget my anniversary, by the way. Man, don't make that mistake. They will change the lock on you and throw away the keys. So what I've done, I'm smart. So I said, I'm going to make sure I don't forget my anniversary. You know what? I made it my password. Tips. But the day that I remember the most is the day that I went down in a watery grave and I said yes to Jesus. 2010, in the month of October, 2 days before my birthday, October 8th. And I remember that day, I went down in a watery grave. I said yes to Jesus. That was a choice. That was a choice. I wasn't forced. There was no gun in my head. I heard the goodness of the Lord, the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I say, yes, Lord. And I'll tell you something. I regret many things in my life. I regret some friends that I've made, some places that I've gone, some sins that I've committed. One thing I never regret is the day I say yes to Jesus. This is one decision. Once you make that decision, I can tell you the Lord is going to take you on a journey. He's going to do something with you, in you, and for you, and He's going to use you to bless others. And I will encourage you today, friends, God never forces men's will. All are left free to choose whom they will serve. This is a story that I'll tell you, boy. I love the Adventist heritage and archives. Andy Faulkhead. This man, a Seventh-day Adventist. Let's read a little bit about his story. As you are watching on this picture here, this is an entire regalia of the Masonic order. There's a reason for that. On December 10th, 1892, Faulkhead dreamed that Ellen White had a message for him. Deeply impressed, he sought out when she returned to Melbourne of a few days later and asked if she had something to say to him. She did have a message she did want to deliver for many months, but had been impressed not to do so. And as it would have been unwelcome, she then discussed a 50-page document with Faulkhead, focusing mainly on the blended spiritual perception of consequence of a heavy commitment to Masonry and several other societies. So this man was in a church, but he was in Freemason. And the Lord was trying to get his attention. Now, watch how it happens. She described what happened in the lodge meeting he attended. Twice, we are told, made movements that startled Faulkhead. As they were secret signs known only to the highest ranking members of the Masonic Lodge movement. We are told signs no ordinary lodge member, certainly no women could have possibly have known. And when he pointed out what she has done, he learned Ellen White was not even aware that she was providing these signals. This experience, we are told, convinced Faulkhead that Ellen White's testimony was from God. You know, God is trying to get people's attention today, and I hope you are paying attention. And I'll tell you what, He went on to say, and Ellen White now, this happened in 1982. A month later, Ellen White had to send him a letter because he still didn't really choose to sever these connections with the Freemasons. And guess what Ellen White says? We are told in this letter, I entreat you to open the door of your heart and let your Savior in. Give him the whole heart, that which he has purchased ever bear in mind, it is you who must choose. God forces no man. He has chosen you and engraved your name in the palms of his hands. Will you not give yourself fully to him? Time is short. You have not a moment to lose in hesitation. The divine word is in your hand to be a lamp to your feet and a light to your path. And we are told what Ellen White called him, make up your mind. He actually surrendered and let go of all that Masonic connections he had. And I say that to say this today. How long halt you between two opinions? If God be God, serve him. If it's be Baal, then follow him. And today, each one of us that are standing here today, if you have not made a decision for Jesus, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity.